Oh wow, can we get another round of applause for that? Everything made me feel some type of way. Okay, so next up we have Archipelag-a, Brown's female Filipino identifying spoken word group. They're some of the strongest women I know, and my ate is in there too. So we're incredibly proud to present them to you. So here they are. Welcome to Archipelag-a. We love you, Marty.
In case you all were wondering, I'm Miss Ate. And we're going to start with a couple solo pieces first. My name is Marielle, I go by Mari, senior, and I'm going to perform a piece called Grace Before Meals. And in case, like, for any of you who are acquainted with Filipino food, I hope you enjoy this. Woo! Woo! Maraming sawa. Matabang yan. Sobrang matamis naman ito. Translation. This has a lot of fat. That's bland. And this is too sweet. These words often refer to burgers, everything that wasn't burgers, and pastries, especially cake. My parents' not-so-sweet take on American cuisine. In a concerted attempt to preserve our heritage, protect my father's blood sugar, and prepare something we actually wanted to eat, my mother often cooked Filipino food at home. I grew up on the sourness of sinigang, the saltiness of bagoong, the crunch of lechon, and the sweet sponginess of puso bibingka. Napakasarap. But I digress. Really, what I want to express is how Pagkayang Filipino food flavored my life as a 1.5-year. So imagine my surprise when I entered school and realized everything on my cafeteria tray is different. I recall staring down, lips curled in a frown. I didn't know where to begin. Do I start with this lump of, mashed potatoes, they say? I glanced down at this thing in unappealing gray. Okay, let's move on to some corn. My face falls forlorn. These wrinkled bits ought to be in some crab and corn soup. Eyes dart to another. There's still time to recover, so I move on to the bit of dessert. And I sigh. Why is the ice cream only in chocolate or vanilla? My taste buds do not operate in a binary. Where's the mango? The ube? Halo-halo. Ay, grabe. Is there nothing for a Filipina to eat? But the real question now, where is the rice? The ulam. All I see is this overcooked patty thing. I believe they call it chicken fried steak. Though I see no manok, so please, give me a break. Covered in this white roux called gravy with black specks of, save me. No, wait, that's pepper, not more. I breathe a slow sigh of relief. Utensils at the ready, I hold the patty thing with a fork, sit down with my spoon. I pray to God above, this will all be over soon. Perhaps this American food won't be so bad. Now fast forward to the present. As you can see, I'm not dead yet, but I've noticed some things along the way. See, I grew up in a neighborhood patriotically red, blue, and white, emphasis on the white, where a little Asian girl couldn't quite fit in. From an early age, I knew I was different, an outsider, and in case I needed a reminder, there was always someone to mispronounce my last name. And another to ask, where are you from? And how come I prefer pancit palabok over hot dogs? Growing up meant dichotomy, a shifting balance I sought to see as a brown-skinned girl in a white world. Growing up meant immersion, or possible desertion, when my tastes didn't align with my classmates. Growing up meant adjustment that, though dried mangoes are heaven sent, I still had to partake of American culture and food. But home is another story. You see, I was raised on a cuisine where the spaghetti is sweet, lumpiang Shanghai is a treat, and salamat sa Diyos, someone brought the sweet and sour sauce. I was raised in a culture where food is community, food is communion. The sanctity of the kitchen table was never forsaken by my family. Meals meant love and serenity, a shared space and common identity. Filipino food is an act of resistance, of resilience, but my parents struggled to find meaning and make sense of our lives as an immigrant family. So while we could all be at the far corners of the bedroom, the bathroom, and the living room, we'd always navigate back. When it was time to leave, take our usual, well-worn seats, and break from this up together. Thank you.
Hi. Yes, is the mic sound weird? Is that okay? Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cat.
Hi, Katrina. Hi, I'm Katrina. I'm a freshman. So I've just joined Archie. It is so exciting. So this is a solo piece that I wrote. You have to forgive me, I finished it today. So just be patient with me. Oh, thank you. I won't apologize. I will take up space. Sorry. I'm just gonna make sure my phone doesn't lock while I do this. Wow, it's not agreeing. Okay, we'll see. So this is a poem called A Letter to My Scalp, or I Wish I, my metaphysical self, was as resilient as you. You are the husk of a coconut, and I am sloshing juice. And you are the husk of a coconut, catching currents from places far away. And I am combing through your fibers to catch these thought feelings, these touch memories, and this can't be a metaphor anymore. Because there's blood and bits of skin under my nails. Because now I'm just peeling at you, and the doctor asks me to think about why. Boredom? Stress? Dry scalp? OCD? No, not OCD. Never OCD, because I'm too ADHD to be OCD, or that's what my friends would say if they weren't saying, you're too smart, or successful, or self-aware to have attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which is funny because at every other moment, it seems like I'm not aware enough. Like I'm dumb fruit bobbing on blue water, and inside my little pulpy brain, I thought it was too easy to write a poem, a number poem about ADHD, to let myself divvy up all these ideas and images instead of letting them the use of numerals because I was really bad at math in high school. So bad. See, I couldn't use a calculator properly because one hand would always be on my head, scratching and rubbing like I was my own golden laughing Buddha, giving myself luck. But I had no luck, not with doctors. So he asks me to think again about why I am doing this to you. And you know, it makes me feel kind of bad. It makes me feel like you're my pet and I'm one of those fucked up animal abusers on a primetime Discovery Channel television show, which isn't fair, because I think you, the very crown of my head, the part of me closest to God, I think you own me, acting biological guardian to my impetuous adolescent thought feelings, weighing them down like a good blanket, because God knows I couldn't trust my prefrontal cortex to do that for me. Sometimes it feels like you're a door unyielded unto me and I take my nails to you in desperation. Is this too metaphorical again? So, okay, here's the problem. Up front, I tell my doctor, I compulsively pick the skin off my scalp until it bleeds. He tells me to cut my nails shorter. I wonder why, in sickness and in health, I have to be discarding parts of myself. If I wanted to do that, I might as well have asked my mother, who has perfected the art of giving and taking simultaneously, who has also given me nail clippers and blue beanies, internalized body image issues because Filipinas don't look like other girls, don't have hair or skin like other girls, not to mention this bad habit itself, because studies show that ADHD is largely hereditary. Not that mental illness exists in the Philippines, where a single Hail Mary is enough to absolve you of all of your symptoms. So, in giving me these objects, she took away all the words that I have to piece together a reflection of myself. And I could hate her for it if I didn't remember that my grandmother made her start dieting when she was 7, taking away her rice and her words too. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. This poem is for you, my scalp. I have knitted a hat, this hat, for the first time, so I hope you are warm. I am using a better conditioner, so I hope you are moisturized. I hope you like what I have done to my hair. I hope you like the things we've learned here that are making me kind and brave and ripe. I want you to know that mental illness is inherited like an undertow, unseeable until you're in it and insensible from the surface. When I was younger, my mother always told me that you smelled like the sun, which was her way of saying you smelled like sweat and grit and kids she only half knew. Or maybe it was her way of saying that you are the sun, or that I am the sun, and that I have great good weight, and other stars are flashing past me in patterns too familiar to feel comfortable. But there is meaning. We are one, and we are good. Thank you. So now I have the honor of doing a group piece with some other members of Archie. This is gonna take some setup.
Yo, Archie!
We didn't want to dance, so we wrote.
We didn't have space, so we created our own.
Founded in 1995 by 14 Filipinas, we write, stand, and perform as Brown University's oldest spoken word group.
Like the myriad of islands that make up the Philippine archipelago,
We come together as a collective of voices, words, and backgrounds.
That explore the multiplicity and diversity of the Filipino culture and tradition.
Here we stand as the next generation of this legacy. We,
Valerie Santos.
Gianna Uson,
that hold up entire communities and keep on giving.
This is for the women whose transcripts are stained with nights of organizing, supporting, community building, but whose communities are drenched in strength, encouragement, and resilience.
this is for the women who hand out their arms and legs like candy, smiling as sharp metal meets warm flesh, giving until they realize that all they have left is their heart, and they give that away too.
This is for the women who put others before themselves, who file away words like want and need under do not use, turning favors away with bowed heads and polite smiles because somewhere along the line, deserve suffered guilt, and it's been like that ever since.
This is for the women who have emptied themselves, who carry burdens in silence and wear their pain as armor, who receive no recognition and yet continue to fight.
As I sit in my first ethnic studies class, I scramble to write down every date and name that flashes across the screen. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, Philip Cruz.
But it isn't long before the smell of testosterone becomes nauseating. And I realize that you are lost in the noise, forgotten, an afterthought.
Well-behaved women rarely make history. Outspoken ones rarely gain recognition. You've been caught in a bind, fighting against a broken order thrust on you to preserve.
Tradition calls for a tight-lipped matriarch. Women who have already forgotten how to cry, these sacrificing bones have become our birthright.
In the process of caring for others, we have forgotten to care for ourselves.
We have been called selfish and inconsiderate for the times we do.
Our kindness has been taken advantage of over and over.
We are held responsible for the pain of others, the concerns of others.
This school was not built for people like us. These buildings were established for the social and religious uses of the men of the university, but your presence and existence screams resistance.
The ways you've labored for us to feel like we belong, to make us know we belong, do not go unnoticed.
You created spaces that allow us to be, allow us to breathe.
Spaces we can claim as our own.
I am who I am
because an Asian woman was
patient, because an Asian woman didn't sleep, because an Asian woman put her community before herself.
Before I existed, the golden chariot came in the form of a one bus whisking weary bodies away to the promised land where they could laugh without restraint.
Before I existed, there was Aung San Suu Kyi, Gabriela Silang, and Yuri Kochiyama.
Before I existed, there was a lineage of Filipino Spitfires who fought for their truth.
Before I existed, there were mothers made lonely by typhoons or jeepney crashes or seas upon seas upon seas.
I'm here today because others remembered the cause,
But forgot the women behind it.
On this campus, women are born holding one another, are born already tired as they walk through those gates, and yet we are still here.
We still resist.
We still laugh like there is a tomorrow.
The gaze of hegemony forgets to thank the beauty of narratives that are undetermined.
These women's smiles hold more than the stories that are crafted around them.
They are more than masks that present sacrifices in ways that are digestible, or ways to make us seem happy with the burden of resisting.
These smiles hold complexity.
These smiles teach us new